This template, by the way, is available publicly in the Butter templates if anyone likes it and wants to use it for their own sessions. One
Every,
of what's
everybody
that?
wants more sleep.
More creativity, more energy, more joy. Lots more energy. Lots more energy. I think you're going to bring a lot of energy and a bit of balance today. I think maybe with your with your zone of genius talk.
I sure
Uh,
hope so.
all righty. So I'm really happy to see everyone here. I'm going to leave this little check-in up as if anyone's coming in as we're doing this, and I am really happy to introduce Alina today. I'm going to highlight us both here so you can see us.
There.
All right. So welcome to our butter mixer. I look forward to these. I really do. I think it's just such a wonderful way for community to uh, share their knowledge, learn from each other. What a wonderful way, I think, for and kind way for us to interact with each other. So Alina's a workshop designer and facilitator. I love the term workshop designer as, as a role, right? We are designing workshops. And she actually has a background in design thinking, which I love. I love design thinking. So that was like excitement for me when I saw that. And she was actually a partner to Design Thinking Society, which
Yeah,
was really that made me go, ooh. Do we have an ooh sound effect? We need one of those, Anna Maria.
I have
Um,
Taylor here, one of my ex-partners.
Ooh,
Hi,
you
Taylor.
can take that one.
and so currently she serves as a lecturer at the Entrepreneurship Academy and Design Thinking and for Design Thinking and Service Design courses. Entrepreneurship Academy, that also is fantastic. I'm a big fan of entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, all the preneurs. And so I'm super happy to have Alina here with us today. And where are you joining us from today, Alina?
From Romania, from Brasov,
Ah.
actually, a city in the mountains. Very beautiful here. I'm looking forward to having you here, Rach.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started. Looks like we've got everyone weighed in here on our uh,
Yeah.
check-in, and I'm just gonna pass it right over to you and have you get started. Well, actually, before we do that, who's familiar with butter? Who's used butter before? Give me thumbs up. Do we have any newbies, like butter newbies there in the audience? Well, you got a newbie over there. Mauricio's a newbie. Mauricio, you see all the emojis flying around. You can find those over on your left hand side under React. And so just give it a little note in the chat if you're having trouble doing something, and Anna Maria or I will help you out as we're going. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Alina.
Thank you so much. So, hi everyone. Before we start working together, I just want to share with you a thought that I've been having for the last couple of weeks since I have been preparing for this session, which is that hindsight is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And as my friend Steve Jobs used to say, you can only connect the dots looking backward. And we don't usually do that, right? We don't take the time to look at what happened to us, at how did we get to where we are. So that's why I want to thank Anna Maria and Rachel for creating this space for me to look back at the year that has passed and distill into the exercises that we are going to do today together, my process and the things that I have learned. So this being said, thank you all for being here. I truly hope that you will get some value from today's session. And let's do this. Watch me as I pull up my presentation. So, first things first, for you to be able to enjoy this session, let's go quickly through some disclaimers and logistics. First of all, I don't live in La La Land. I am well aware of the fact that bills must be paid, right? So, this session is designed for you to find your North Star, just to know like how would the ideal workshop look like, the ideal client, what do I want for myself, what do I need in order to be fulfilled and aligned, right? Just for you to know how does that look like. Second, we are going to do 4 exercises together, and each exercise will follow a 4-step flow. So basically, I will tell you the rationale behind the exercise. I will give you an example because I'm in this with you. I will tell you also my story. I will give you the instructions, and afterwards, we are going to work together alone. By the end of this session, we will have one outcome, and that is your zone of genius statement. Basically, a phrase that encapsulates everything that is important to you. Of course, I must mention that this is a living thing, right? So you will revisit it from time to time as time passes and you get to know yourself better and what do you like and what is important for you. Last but not least, I have been pondering if we should use Miro or not to do these exercises, but given the fact that the exercises are quite personal, I think that pen and paper would be better. And of course, I do encourage you to share your thoughts in the chat if it feels right for you. Okay? Good. So let's do this. What do I mean by zone of genius, right? Because you have heard this expression all over the internet and everybody has their definition of it. Well, from my perspective, zone of genius is that fit between your authentic self and your business self. Basically, is that zone where you can truly bring your whole self to work, right? When you don't feel like you are performing, when you are doing your workshops or your projects or interacting with your clients. And as you are here, I'm sure I don't have to sell you on the idea that this is important. But with the risk of being Captain Obvious, I want to share with you why this is important for me and what did it do for me. Personally, what it did is that it created a state of flow for myself. So I don't know if you got this, but I noticed that I get really anxious when I don't work with clients or on projects that are aligned with myself, right? Like I get jittery before walking in because I do feel like I'm performing, like I'm stepping into a role. And I have been lucky enough to work with many clients on many projects that I truly, truly love. So I know how it feels to be aligned when you step into a job, right? And I can tell you that when I do that, I come in totally relaxed, and that reflects in the way that I facilitate and in the way that I interact and design and you name it, everything job related. From a professional standpoint, I think that we can all agree that us as facilitators have access to more or less the same tools. So, what differentiates ourselves from another facilitator is that, well, we are us and there's only one of us. So, it's very important for us to bring our true self into our work because then we can create our own lane. As Rachel mentioned before, my weapon of choice, let's say, was design thinking and it still is in some circumstances. And as you might know, in design thinking, we say that we should start with the client's needs in mind. Well, today I want to challenge this statement and to challenge you to start with your needs first. Because if you don't know what your needs are and what is important for you, then obviously you cannot serve your clients at the best of your abilities. That being said, let's empathize with ourselves. What am I optimizing for? This is the most important question that I have answered for myself during the last year. And that is because it's obvious that the choices that we make in business impact the way that we live our lives. And that's why it's important for us to know how do we want our life to look like so that we can choose wisely in business. So, this exercise that we are going to do together is basically a two-parter, right? So, the first step is to ask yourself, how do you want to spend your days and what do you value the most? Here, for example, when I'm thinking about how do I want to spend my days, I want to be able to arrange my day as I want, right? Like I want this flexibility. And that's why one of the things that I value the most is flexibility, then meaningful relationships and authenticity. And once I have answered these questions, I am able to articulate the fact that I optimize for flexibility, meaningful relationships, and authenticity. These are the three things that are the most important for me. And afterwards, I go a step deeper, right? And I ask myself, why? Why is it flexibility important for me? Why are meaningful relationships important to me? Why is authenticity important to me, right? And here are my answers. Flexibility, because I want to have the freedom to design my days. Meaningful relationships, because I want to evolve and feel secure. And authenticity, because I want to be able to show up as myself. Now, as promised, here are the instructions. So first of all, go through the two questions that I have mentioned. How do you want to spend your days? What do you value the most? And based on the answers from these two questions, fill out the statement, I optimize for X, Y, and Z. And afterwards, write down the why. Why do I optimize for flexibility, authenticity, and meaningful relationships, right? Just go a bit deeper. Good? Everything is clear? Are you ready to work? Yes, thumbs up. Rach, can we please start the timer? 8 minutes. Ah,
You were muted. I just unmuted you. So whatever you just said, you might want to say it again.
thank you. I just said nothing important. Just welcome back. How did you find this exercise? I'm really curious if somebody wants to share what are they optimizing for. We have 2 minutes for this. What are you optimizing for? What are your values? Same
I'll
time.
share, Alina.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. I see in the chat that we have something also. Go ahead.
Which do you want me to share? The statement?
Yeah. You optimize for what?
So mine's probably a little different. I optimize for brain space, so space to breathe in my brain, time to think and be autonomous, because that's where curiosity happens. That's where creative problem solving happens. And I do that, I value that for myself just as much for my clients, like the space to wander and wonder, and bring that into experiences. And that's how I work best.
Wow, that's really beautiful, Rach. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We have also, I see two answers in the chat, right? Hi. Oh, they disappeared.
But we got tutor there saying I'm optimizing for freedom, collaboration, and impact.
Wow. Okay. Really nice.
And Luna says optimize for meaningful collaborations, innovation, and growth, and having fun. And I think that's the only two in the you. We've got a question for you there,
Should we
Alina.
choose?
What's that?
Should we choose one thing or
Yeah.
several? Choose how many are important for you. Like for me, those three are top three, but if it's one, if there are two, it doesn't matter. Whatever is important for you, just articulate it. Good. So thank you very much. Ana Maria has a comment?
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to share that I found myself a bit torn in between what I am optimizing for right now
Mm-hmm.
versus what I would like to optimize for ideally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put things in, yeah. So it was like,
Yeah, I totally get it. Like sometimes you are optimizing for the things that you are not optimizing for, actually, right?
yeah, that was for me. I think it's good. I really loved it. I think with a bit more time and actually like
Yeah.
full look inside you and be really, really, really honest with you, like with myself, I think that would help kind of untangle those things.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this up because I just wanted to say that obviously this for me was a 1 year process, right? And I did many things like meditation, yoga, this and that, and so on, right? So here I'm asking you to do this in 8 minutes. I'm just giving you a glimpse, obviously, right? So take this with you, think about it, process it, go on a walk, talk to your family, talk to your friends, and articulate it better. We are just going through the process together to see how it feels right now, top of mind. So thank you, Ana Maria, for telling me that. Good. So let's move forward. Uh, an exercise, the Groundhog Day. Let me tell you what this is all about. As facilitators, we can do pretty much any workshop, work with pretty much any client. And that, as you may know, it's both a blessing and a curse, right? Because if I were to ask you, what kind of workshop do you like to do? You will be, oh, this, that, and the other one, right? But if you have like a more extreme approach, like a Groundhog Day, if I were to ask you what type of workshop would you do each day for the rest of your life, then this puts a different lens on it, right? So I'm purposefully forcing you to think about what type of workshop would you do for the every day for the rest of your life. And think about some things like the type of people that are in the room. Like for me, they are smart, they are warm, they are respectful, they are involved. These are the kind of people that I'd like to work with. How do you feel? For me, it's important to feel relaxed and authentic. Like right now, I'm bringing my whole self to you. This is who I am. No performance, right? What would you wear? Casual clothing. I don't like dressing up, for example. Like if you put me in a suit, that breaks my vibe totally. And what is the format? What is the topic, the objective of the workshop? For me, I like running one-day workshops. I like workshops that foster connections, topics that are related to empathy, employee engagement, strategy, ideation. Anything in this area makes my heart fuzzy and warm, right? So do this, go through these questions. Don't limit yourself to these questions, right? So these are only thought starters for you regarding the ideal workshop, the workshop that you would run every day for the rest of your life. Think about how would that workshop feel, right? The people, what are you wearing, everything that I have just mentioned, and write down the characteristics, right? Try to articulate, I mean, one sentence if you can, how this would look like. Rachel, if there are no more questions, okay, for the rest of my life, are there a cake eating workshop? You can do that too, though. Welcome back. Now I'm unmuted. I took my power back, Rachel. So I loved while you were working, I was going through your answers to the previous exercise, and I love seeing what you wrote there. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's share here also. What would this workshop look like? Sylvia says I have a long sentence. Could you read it to me? I would love to hear it. Tick, 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 tick. Crickets.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll try.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you.
So, my ideal workshop would be a playful and colorful experience thanks to my bubbly energy and confidence, where participants work on business design and strategy in a way not experienced before that leaves them jaw on the floor and smiling.
Wow, I love that. I want to co-facilitate that.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else wants to share? Now that Sylvia was so brave.
I, I would. I think I would like to.
Yes.
So this is Eileen. I think
Hi.
the audience will be. So for me, the audience will be welcoming, respectful, sharing ideas, and curious to learn more about the topic. I would like to be wearing casual to street clothing. I would like to feel relaxed and connected with the audience. Also, um, well, I will. If it were for me, the topic I would like to teach will be the art of teaching and content development, as they are my passion.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. It sounds amazing. I really hope that you do more of this. Good. So now that you've got the drill, let's do this. Ask yourself, if I had to work with the same client every day, how would he treat me? For me, I want my ideal client to treat me as a partner and not a supplier. For me, this is a big one. What kind of behavior would he have? The ideal client has to respect his people and listen to them. For me, it's just a deal breaker when I see a manager that doesn't respect his team. Why did he choose me? Well, ideally, because he resonated with my values and my approach. So, again, these are only three questions to get your mind started on this topic of the ideal client, right? So, go through them, add anything that you feel that is relevant for you to picture this ideal client. How would he, she be, right? Good, ready to go? If so, Rachel? And ideally, you can rank them from non-negotiable, must not be a jerk to his team, in my case, to least important but nice to have. So you know where you can let a bit loose or it's a deal breaker, right? Ready? Steady? Let's share. I love your answers in the chat. Like I go through them and cannot stop smiling. So let's see. Either. So Eileen says he would treat me as a partner in the business and trust me as a subject matter on the field. This client would be respectful, collaborate with his team, and open minded to suggestions, ideas, and overall care about the learning experience during the deployment of the session. This client would choose me because I am the best choice for their business. Love, love, love that, Eileen. Thank you. I really hope that you would get many clients like this. Edward says he'll treat me as a friend. He's open minded, sharing in disclosed. I don't know if I read that correctly. He chose me because we have the same worldview and values. Oh, okay, I think that there are some typos there. Thank you, Edward. Autocorrect. Good. Does anyone else wants to share? No? Good.
I'll share mine, Alina.
Yay.
Here, let me highlight myself so I bring myself up there. So my ideal client treats me with respect and trusts my expertise and is actually excited to work with me. I am not a checkbox. That is my biggest thing with
Right.
an ideal client, right? You're not bringing me in because I'm a checkbox. And they need to be collaborative. The more they put in and co-create with me, the better the experience. They also need to be open with their team about what we are doing and why with the workshopping. That's really important to me in an ideal client. And I can help them with that, but they need to not just throw something over the transom at the team. And they already have a spark of interest and curiosity and wonder. Part of my job, while I put my knowledge out there in the world, I'm not going to spend my time trying to beg or convince them that this is the right route. They should already have a spark of interest in that type of thing. I've done too much of that convincing already. So, and they would choose me because they're actually craving to bring more of that curiosity into what they're doing in problem solving or facilitation for their team or building a facilitation practice. They're just craving that, and that's why they came to me.
Love that, Paige. Put it out in the universe. I totally agree with the checkbox thing. Like I've been there. I had a big project that was just a checkbox, and I worked so hard and put my heart into it. And I know how it feels just to be like, done. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. So now is the time to put it all together as we articulate the zone of genius statement. Remember in the beginning that I told you that this is the final outcome. Basically here, what are you going to do is just take your answers from all the exercises and put them together in this template. So I optimize for answers from exercise 1 first part because answers from exercise 1 second part. Therefore, I run workshops that answers from exercise 2 for clients who answers from exercise 3. So let me tell you how my zone of genius statement looks like, because I told you that I'm going to share also. I'm not going to leave you here all by yourself. So I value flexibility, meaningful relationships, and authenticity because I want to have the freedom to design my days, to evolve, to feel secure, and be able to show up as myself. Therefore, I run one-day workshops that foster connection and allow me to bring my true self to work. For clients that share my values, treat me as a partner, trust my process, and respect their teams. So this is my zone of genius statement as of today, because who knows what will happen in the next year, right? So I'm inviting you Two, fill out your zone of genius. And if there is anything that you would like to add that I have not touched upon in the prior exercises, feel free to fill it out. The idea is to have something that reflects what's important to you, your boundaries, your wishes, right? That you can put on the wall and just know that it's there as your North Star, right? I will leave you with the template. And Rachel, please, music and timer. Rachel, I love the fact that people want to retweet your answer. So you must put it in the chat and let people print that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab it from the transcript because I ad-libbed a little, and for the life of me, I could not retype that.
Okay. Transcript it is. Eileen, would you like to share with us what you wrote here? So it's in your own words and voice.
Yes. I think in general, I resonate with your optimization, which is flexibility, connection, and efficiency. I think because it will ensure me to be successful on my job and I really enjoy it while I'm caring for the people I love, which is my family. Therefore, I run workshops that, as I mentioned before, the audience is respectful, welcoming, grace, with challenging ideas. They are curious about the topic, and I will feel relaxed at the moment I'm doing the presentation. Um, the topics I would love to teach is about teaching and or facilitate and content development. And the client will be somebody who is respectful and consider the best business partner for there to create a solution for them. And the person will care about the learning experience as overall.
Really nice. Thank you so much. Do you feel that it encapsulates everything that is important for you?
I think so. I really was. I had never thought about this. Like I had never thought about myself first. I will always thought about the client, the partner before me,
I'm
all
so
the time.
happy to hear this, that you've got the opportunity to do this. Happy for you, Eileen. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else wants to share?
Well, I
This,
can share mine since I wrote it in the chat and everyone seems
yeah,
to like my other one.
that's
Um,
between Rachel's.
so I shortened it a bit, of course, but I optimized for brain space, that space to think, right, to allow for wandering and wondering for both myself and my clients. Therefore, I run workshops that truly help tap into all aspects of awe for clients who crave curiosity for their team's facilitation practice.
Ooh, thank you. Do you feel that you encapsulated everything here, Rach?
Yeah, I think what was really interesting for me is because I always think about wonder and curiosity from the client perspective. And I never thought about, oh, well, I'm really interested in that because that's what I like in my own life, right? Like I didn't have enough of that earlier in my career where I wasn't allowed to express that in, like I'm going to make myself feel old, in the first decade of my career, right? In the types of environments that I was in. So that now that's a really important value for me, is to give that space for myself to have those types of wonder, and be able to have my mind wander and bring in those type of curiosities.
Oh,
So
I'm happy that it was so insightful for you.
yeah, I was
Even
looking forward to this.
you were ready. I'm so happy that this brings you insight and value. So we are getting closer and closer to the end. I hope that you find today's session valuable, that it raised questions for you that will help you gain more clarity regarding who you are as a person, what do you need, how do you want to show up in your facilitation. And I really encourage you to revisit these questions and do these exercises from time to time and see if anything changes, right? And also, when you make decisions, try to remember your zone of genius and see if you are there whenever you can, because life is life, right? So whenever you can, look at this statement and see if you are aligned. So I don't mean to be the person who ends a workshop with a Brené Brown video, but I will be that person because I just feel that it encapsulates so well everything that we have talked about today. So please forgive me, but I will share a video.
There's this part from Braving the Wilderness that it really changed me. It's the practice that came from the book, and it is, don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will always find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people. We carry those inside of our hearts. And so for me, I know who I am. I'm clear about that. And I'm not going to negotiate that with you. I will negotiate a contract with you. I will negotiate maybe even a topic with you, but I'm not going to negotiate who I am with you. Because then, and this is, I think, the heart of the book, then I may fit in for you, but I no longer belong to myself. And that is a betrayal I am not willing to do anymore. I spent the first 30 years of my life doing that. I'm not willing to betray myself anymore. I just can't do it.
I hope it was worth your time. Yeah. So I'm going to share the link.
That was me clicking the wrong house.
No, I think that's Saeed's sound effects. I have they have a very distinct sound.
You're very quiet.
Sorry.
And we've
That
got a
came in
little
really wrong.
closeout question here.
Thank you, Rach.
For everyone. And I just really want to hear from everyone. What was an aha moment for you during this session? Something you just can't wait to use or put in action, just something that was just brought some awe to you. I'm going to use my I've got my aha moment was my awe. Oh, that wasn't you, Saeed. Oh, I guess that was Anna Maria's sound effects then. Got some answers coming in here. You can also vote on other people's answers by clicking on the rolling over and clicking on the answer. You can vote if something's resonating with you.
Oh. So beautiful. I'm gonna share the link in the chat. Poor Said. The usual suspect.
We've got a lot of really great answers coming up here. The simplicity of the process to walk through such a complex professional discovery. The time limit helped to stop overthinking. I think that's really important. Yeah. I'm going to vote on that one. Wow, there's some great things in here. We've got a bunch of people still voting, so we'll leave that up. And I just want to take a moment to thank Alina because this was such a great session. I'm sure you all have discovered some amazing things as well based on some of the reflections that we're seeing here. And thank you, Alina, for taking the time and for going through that self-discovery, and the challenges that came with it so that you could share how to do it in such a short time for us.
Yeah.
So
love the process. Love being here with you and share it.
Thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for joining us. And if you look at the pinned messages, you will see a way to connect with Alina, explore our facilitation for all, but the tool that Butter put out, and also join the Butter community. We'd love to see you in the Butter community if you're not there. I know that we had a lot of newbies to Butter today, and the community is a great place to share resources, share what you learned. We're going to put a recap up of this session in the Butter community, and I'll pull by transcript piece there too. But you'll also, in the recaps you get from Butter, there are recordings, and you'll get to see this again if you want. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Well, let's go ahead and close the poll here first.
Thank you, Alina. This was great.
Thank you, Anna Maria, for having me. Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.